Dang! Aptera actually did it. After months of speculation, debates, and passionate community feedback, the company finally confirmed what thousands of EV enthusiasts were hoping for. DC fast charging is now standard across all Aptera vehicles, including the highly anticipated Launch Edition. This single decision represents far more than a spec sheet update. It's a symbol of a company that listens to its supporters and acts decisively on real feedback. When Aptera first announced the Launch Edition, excitement was through the roof. A car powered partly by sunlight, with ultra-efficient aerodynamics and futuristic styling. It felt like something out of science fiction. But as the details came out, the community noticed one major flaw. There was no DC fast charging. Instead, Aptera said the car would only support AC charging at launch, with the possibility of a retrofit later on. That revelation instantly sparked a wave of concern and conversation across the EV world. Forums filled up overnight. Enthusiasts, engineers, and early supporters expressed frustration. They loved the design, the efficiency, and the idea of a self-charging vehicle. But many said they couldn't justify buying a long-range EV that couldn't recharge quickly on the go. And that reaction wasn't fueled by anger. It was fueled by passion. The community wanted Aptera to succeed, and they made their voices heard. Aptera didn't respond defensively or dismissively. Instead, they did something rare in the automotive industry. They listened. They studied the feedback, evaluated the engineering implications, and eventually announced the change everyone had been asking for. Fast charging wouldn't just be optional. It would come standard on every Aptera, including the Launch Edition. That's not just customer service. That's collaboration between a company and its community. This decision matters because DC fast charging is the bridge between concept and practicality. It's what turns an electric car into a vehicle you can actually road trip in. With fast charging, Aptera drivers won't have to plan their entire lives around outlets or overnight charges. They can stop, plug in for a short break, and be ready to go again in minutes instead of hours. Aptera says its vehicles will support between 40 and 60 kilowatts of DC fast charging power. On paper, that might seem modest compared to some big-name EVs capable of 250 kilowatts or more. But the real story here is efficiency. Aptera is designed to use only about 100 watt-hours of energy per mile. That's roughly 1/4 of what most electric cars consume. At 40 kilowatts, that means adding about 400 miles of range per hour of charging. At 60 kilowatts, that's around 600 miles per hour. Those numbers are simply incredible when you think about what that means for real-world driving. What's even more impressive is how this decision came to be. Aptera's engineers always wanted to use Tesla's NACS connector, the sleek, lightweight charging plug that fits perfectly with the car's aerodynamic form. But when they first finalized their design, NACS wasn't yet open to other manufacturers. Using it would have meant uncertain compatibility and potential legal hurdles. So they held off, sticking with AC charging while waiting for the industry to evolve. Then, Tesla opened up the NACS standard to everyone. Practically overnight, that changed everything. It meant Aptera could adopt the connector they always wanted without sacrificing accessibility. It unlocked the possibility for full DC fast charging and, more importantly, potential access to the Tesla Supercharger network, the largest and most reliable charging network in North America. Now, Aptera has confirmed that with NACS built in, the car will be capable of charging directly at Tesla Superchargers. That means no adapters, no complicated setup, just plug in and charge. There are still details to be finalized, like whether drivers will need to activate charging through the Tesla app or if it will start automatically. But either way, this is a massive step forward. It positions Aptera as one of the first non-Tesla vehicles to integrate seamlessly into that ecosystem. Behind the scenes, though, this wasn't a small tweak. Adding DC fast charging required major engineering work. The thermal systems had to be redesigned to handle higher current without overheating. The battery management software had to be updated for fast charge communication. The charging architecture had to balance the solar input with grid-level charging power. It's a complex integration that speaks to Aptera's technical skill and attention to detail. Most automakers would have waited years to make a change this significant. They would have pushed the feature to the next model year or offered it as a costly upgrade. But Aptera made the change before production even began. That shows confidence, flexibility, and a genuine commitment to delivering the best possible product from day one. What makes this story even more powerful is the role the community played in it. This wasn't just a company initiative. It was a response to real people speaking up. The community's voice directly influenced the final design of the car. It's proof that when passionate users come together and provide constructive feedback, companies can evolve faster and smarter. Aptera didn't just build a car for its fans, they built it with them. With production still on the horizon, this timing couldn't be better. Because the car hasn't yet entered mass manufacturing or crash testing, there's still room for final tweaks and refinements. That gives Aptera the flexibility to make sure the fast charging system works perfectly before the first units reach customers. It's rare to see that level of responsiveness before launch, and it gives early adopters a reason to be excited again. The combination of solar power and DC fast charging is what makes Aptera so unique. Imagine leaving your car parked in the sun and returning to find it's gained 30 to 40 miles of range for free. Combine that with 400–600 miles per hour of fast charging at a station, and you have an EV that offers both independence and convenience. Daily commutes might require no plugging in at all, and long road trips suddenly become effortless. For anyone who was hesitant before, this update changes everything. What was once a potential deal-breaker is now one of Aptera's strongest selling points. It transforms the car from an interesting prototype into a legitimate long-distance electric vehicle. It rebuilds confidence among early supporters and sends a strong signal to new potential buyers that Aptera is serious about listening, adapting, and improving. In the end, this isn't just about faster charging. It's about progress, communication, and shared vision. Aptera has proven that innovation isn't only about technology, it's about humility and listening. They took criticism not as an attack, but as guidance, and they used it to make their product better. That's the kind of mindset that changes industries. So, if you were one of the people who doubted them before, this is the moment to take another look. A solar-powered EV that can charge itself, recharge faster than most cars on the road, and use the Tesla Supercharger network, all wrapped in a design that looks like the future? That's not a dream anymore. That's Aptera. They heard us, they understood, and they delivered. The future isn't coming someday. It's already parked in the sunlight, ready to drive.